Prime Minister Modi interacts with beneficiaries and vaccinators of COVID vaccination drive in Varanasi via video conferencing. Participants share their first-hand experience of vaccination. Over 10.5 lakh people vaccinated so far across the country. West Bengal Forest Minister Rajiv Banerjee resigns from Mamata cabinet ahead of upcoming state assembly elections. Government and agitating farmer unions meeting in the another round of talks today. Farmer unions had yesterday rejected government's offer to suspend implementation of 3 farm laws from 12 to 18 months. Prime Minister Modi addresses 18th convocation of Tezpur University in Assam through video conferencing. Prime Minister says government reforms have opened up a plethora of opportunities, adds innovations playing significant role in solving local problems. Famous singer Narendra Chanchal passes away at the age of 80. He was known for singing famous bhajans like Chalo Bulawa Aaya Hai. Prime Minister Modi expresses condolences. Namaskar and welcome. You're watching DD News. I'm Sakal Bhatt and the top story at this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today interacted with beneficiaries and vaccinators of COVID-19 vaccination drive in Varanasi via video conferencing. The participants in the interaction shared their first-hand experience of the vaccination. Addressing the beneficiaries and vaccinators, Prime Minister said that the new year has begun on an auspicious note with the biggest vaccination program in the world going on in India.
साल 2021 की शुरुआत बहुत ही शुभ संकल्पों से हुई है और काशी के बारे में तो कहते हैं कि काशी के स्पर्श से ही शुभता सिद्धि के अंदर ही बदल जाती है। इसी सिद्धि का परिणाम है कि आज दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम हमारे देश में चल रहा है।
Prime Minister Modi has also said that in the last 6 years, the medical infrastructure in and around Banaras was developed in a fast pace, which benefited the people during COVID times.
बीते 6 वर्षों में बनारस और आसपास के मेडिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में जो बड़ा बदलाव आया है, उससे पूरे पूर्वांचल को कोरोना काल में बड़ी मदद मिली है। अब बनारस वैक्सीन के लिए उसी गति से आगे बढ़ रहा है। मुझे बताया गया है कि पहले चरण में बनारस में करीब 20,000 से ज्यादा हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल्स को वैक्सीन लगाई जाएगी। इसके लिए 15 टीकाकरण केंद्र बनाए गए हैं।
And in a fresh blow to the Trinamool Congress government of West Bengal, State Cabinet Minister Rajiv Banerjee tendered his resignation. Rajiv Banerjee was the minister in charge of Forest Department in the State Cabinet. The resignation of the minister is a serious development or a big development in the state politics, as in the recent months many TMC leaders, including Suvendu Adhikari, have left the party and joined BJP, the party which is constantly in the process to strengthen its roots and cadre in the state. A team of officials of the Election Commission of India, including the Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora, is on a visit to poll-bound West Bengal. The Election Commission team held discussions with all the political parties in the state and have asked to ensure that voting is held in free and fair manner. Chief Election Commissioner said that the term of the West Bengal Assembly will end on May 30th.
Election Commission of India is committed to conduct forthcoming elections, assembly elections in the state in free, fair, ethical and safe manner while endeavoring to ensure higher voter participation amidst peaceful, harmonious atmosphere. And in case the voter participation in West Bengal has been very high. In 2016 it was 82.80. In 2014 Parliament it was 82.20. In 2019 it was 81.69. The election was held in 2016 in 6 phases. Actually, one phase was split into 2 phases, A and B, so effectively 7 phases. And the Lok Sabha elections, as you are aware, were held in 7 phases.
The Chief Election Commissioner said during the assembly elections the media should act with a lot of sensitivity and media persons should refrain from fake news and also misuse of social media.
They also voiced their concern for misuse of social media for spreading fake news, communally provocative speeches, misuse of government machinery, misuse of money power, and asked for Commission to take effective steps in this direction. On the social media, I want to report to you, my dear friends, that during the Lok Sabha elections, as most of you are already aware, our senior officers engaged into very detailed dialogue with the social media handles and their apex organizations in Delhi.
Mr. Sunil Arora also said that special arrangements will be made for polling in the sensitive areas of West Bengal.
Bengal had 78,903 polling stations, and these additional polling stations, which are called auxiliary polling stations, are 22,887. In other words, now West Bengal has total 101,790 polling stations. We found that as many as 2,950 polling stations are located above ground level.
Well, the Chief Election Commissioner has said that BSF is one of the finest forces in the country. Sunil Arora also added that it is unfortunate that a party made advertisements about the BSF.
Whichever political party made this averment about BSF, it is unfortunate. BSF is one of the finest forces in the country. They are the sentinels of our borders. It has been founded by some iconic police officers like Rustamji and Ashwini Kumarji, and they have maintained the traditions. So there is no point castigating any forces ad nauseum, whether it is BSF or the state police forces.
And now moving on, some news on the updates on fight against COVID-19. Well, Myanmar today received 15 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines as gift from India under Vaccine Maitri exercise. These vaccines will be administered to 75,000 people by next week. The Ministry of External Affairs said that Indian vaccines have arrived in Myanmar to contribute to our neighborhood's inoculation efforts, while consignments of Indian-made COVID vaccines have been airlifted for Seychelles and Mauritius. Well, India has also crossed a significant landmark in its collective and resolute fight against global pandemic. As on 22nd of January 2021 till 7 a.m., nearly 10.5 lakh beneficiaries have received vaccination under the countrywide COVID-19 vaccination exercise. In the last 24 hours, 2,37,050 people were vaccinated across 4,049 sessions. 18,167 sessions have been conducted so far. The expansion in testing infrastructure has also given a massive boost in India's fight against the global pandemic. The cumulative testing has crossed 19 crore mark. 8 lakh plus samples were tested in the last 24 hours, which has increased India's total cumulative tests of 19 crore 1,48,024. Comprehensive and widespread testing on the sustained basis has resulted in bringing down the positivity rate. The cumulative positivity rate now stands at 5.59% as of today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed 18th convocation of Tezpur University, Assam through video conferencing. This event witnessed 1,218 students who passed out in 2020 receiving their degrees and diplomas. Speaking at the occasion, Prime Minister said Centre is fully committed to develop Northeast region, which keeps creating innumerable new opportunities for the younger generation.
हमारी सरकार आज जिस तरह नॉर्थ ईस्ट के विकास से जुटी है, जिस तरह कनेक्टिविटी, एजुकेशन, हेल्थ, हर सेक्टर में काम हो रहा है, उससे आपके लिए अनेकों नई संभावनाएं बन रही हैं। इन संभावनाओं का पूरा लाभ उठाइए। आपके प्रयास ये बताते हैं कि आप में क्षमता भी है, नया सोचने, नया करने का सामर्थ्य भी है। साथियों, तेजपुर यूनिवर्सिटी की एक पहचान अपने इनोवेशन सेंटर के लिए भी है। आपके ग्रास रूट इनोवेशंस वोकल फॉर लोकल को भी नई गति देते हैं, नई ताकत देते हैं। ये इनोवेशंस स्थानीय समस्याओं को सुलझाने में काम आ रहे हैं, जिससे विकास के नए द्वार खुल रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi said the new education policy lays stress on the use of new and innovative technology, multidisciplinary education and flexibility.
नई नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के माध्यम से लगातार उसकी कोशिश की जा रही है। इस पॉलिसी में टेक्नोलॉजी के ज्यादा से ज्यादा उपयोग, मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी एजुकेशन और फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी को प्रोत्साहित किया जा रहा है। नई नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी डाटा और डाटा एनालिटिक्स के लिए हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम को तैयार करने पर बल देती है। डाटा एनालिटिक्स की मदद से एडमिशन से लेकर टीचिंग और इवैल्यूएशन तक पूरी प्रक्रिया बहुत बेहतर हो जाएगी। मुझे विश्वास है कि तेजपुर यूनिवर्सिटी नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के इन लक्ष्यों को सिद्ध करने में अहम भूमिका निभाएगी।
Prime Minister Modi has emphasized that the students of the university should work for the betterment of the Northeast and Assam so that the region should reach newer heights of progress and development.
भरोसा है कि आपने तेजपुर में रहते हुए तेजपुर यूनिवर्सिटी में जो सीखा है वो असम की प्रगति को, देश की प्रगति को गति देगा, नई ऊंचाई देगा। साथियों, इस भरोसे की कई वजह भी हैं। पहला, तेजपुर का यह ऐतिहासिक स्थान, इसके पौराणिक इतिहास से मिलने वाली प्रेरणा। दूसरा, तेजपुर विश्वविद्यालय में आप जो काम कर रहे हैं वो मुझे बताया गया है कि वो बहुत ही उत्साह जगाता है। और तीसरा, पूर्वी भारत के सामर्थ्य पर, यहां के लोगों, यहां के नौजवानों की क्षमताओं पर, राष्ट्र निर्माण के उनके प्रयासों पर सिर्फ मेरा ही नहीं, देश का भी अटूट विश्वास है।
Well, speaking on the issue of natural resources and management of waste, Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded the efforts of Tezpur University in the direction of creating biogas out of waste.
गांवों में वेस्ट टू एनर्जी, कचरे से कंचन, इसमें बदलने का जो बीड़ा आपने उठाया है उसका प्रभाव भी बहुत बड़ा है। फसलों के अवशेष हमारे किसानों और हमारे पर्यावरण दोनों के लिए बड़ी चुनौती है। बायोगैस और ऑर्गेनिक फर्टिलाइजर से जुड़ी एक सस्ती और प्रभावी टेक्नोलॉजी को, उसको लेकर जो काम आप अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी में कर रहे हैं, उससे देश की एक बहुत बड़ी समस्या हल हो सकती है।
Mentioning about India's historic win against Australia, Prime Minister Modi termed Team India's win as an example of never giving up. He said that the performance of Indian team in Australia is a great example of the change in approach.
हर चुनौती, हर समस्या से निपटने का हमारे युवा देश का अंदाज, देश का मिजाज अब कुछ हटकर है। इसका एक ताजा उदाहरण तो अभी हमें क्रिकेट की दुनिया में देखा है। आप लोगों में से बहुतों ने भारतीय क्रिकेट टीम के ऑस्ट्रेलिया टूर को फॉलो किया होगा। इस टूर में क्या क्या चुनौतियां हमारी टीम के सामने नहीं आई। हमारी इतनी बुरी हार हुई, लेकिन उतनी ही तेजी से हम उभरे भी और अगले मैच में जीत हासिल की। चोट लगने के बावजूद हमारे खिलाड़ी मैच बचाने के लिए मैदान पर डटे रहे। चैलेंजिंग कंडीशंस, इसमें निराश होने के बजाय हमारे युवा खिलाड़ियों ने चैलेंज का सामना किया।
The fresh round of talks between the government and the agitating farmer unions is underway now. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal, Minister of State for Commerce and Industry, they're all attending the meeting. Earlier, farmer unions had rejected government's offer to suspend implementation of the farm laws for 12 to 18 months. Popular bhajan singer Narendra Chanchal passed away on Friday in national capital. The iconic bhajan singer died at around 12 noon this afternoon. Chanchal was known for his religious songs and bhajans. Chanchal's iconic songs like Chalo Bulawa Aaya Hai from movie Avatar and Beshak Mandir Masjid Todo from Bobby became immensely popular. He won the Filmfare Award for Best Male Singer for Bobby. Prime Minister Modi has extended condolences over the demise of the great bhajan singer. In a tragic accident in Karnataka, 7 people have been killed in a dynamite blast at a stone mining quarry in Shivamoga district. The accident took place at a railway crusher site in Shivamoga district's Ablagir taluk. The dead were all labourers reportedly and was said to be the residents of Bihar. According to the reports, the incident took place when a blast rocked a lorry carrying gelatin sticks and other explosives. Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa announced ex gratia of 5 lakh each for the next of kin of the victims killed in the incident.
Negligence on the quarry owner and the operators there, and it all depends on the quality of the dynamite which is supplied. Therefore, police have already arrested the quarry owner and the man who has supplied the dynamite also. So all the inquiry is going on, and once the preliminary report comes, we are going to do a high-level inquiry on that. Secondly, regarding rescue and rehabilitation, our police and district administration is already taking care of it, and other compensation all CM will decide on that.
Karnataka Home Minister Basiraj Bommai has said that the police have arrested the quarry owner and the dynamite supplier on negligence, and high level of inquiry will be conducted on the incident once the preliminary report is prepared. Moving on to the other stories of the day, Road Transport and Highways Ministry and IIT Roorkee have signed a memorandum of understanding in New Delhi focusing on research and development, teaching and training in the area of development of highway infrastructure. The collaboration will strengthen research and development activities in road sector, and the chair professor is expected to provide leadership in conducting and coordinating research, development, teaching in the area of development of highway infrastructure.
We have done an MOU with the IIT Roorkee, and Dr. Parida would be the professional chair for this research work on behalf of Ministry of Road Transport Highways. We hope and expect that the new materials, technologies, and good industry practices will be brought in, which will help in better infrastructure, safer infrastructure, and leading to an economical infrastructure as well.
And now let's move on to the updates coming in from International Film Festival of India, IFFI, which is being held in Goa. The Indian Panorama section is a major attraction of the 51st edition of International Film Festival in Goa. Now, the section showcases the best of contemporary Indian feature and non-feature films of the years. The festival paid homage to late actor Irfan Khan also by showcasing Pan Singh Tomar. IFFI recognized his noteworthy contribution to the film industry. Irfan Khan's wife and his son were present on the occasion. IFFI is also celebrating the work of legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray by screening his classics as well. His Hindi directorial debut Shatranj Ke Khiladi was screened today. IFFI also paid homage to actors Jagdeep by screening Brahmachari and veteran actor Sri Ram Lago by screening Ek Din Achanak. Besides this, Sanskrit movie Namo was also screened. Once facing an acute water shortage, the Rajana Sirsilia district in Telangana has now become an example of water conservation and management in the country. While there are many efforts taken by the government and individual platforms to revive the groundwater levels, a district collector in Telangana has succeeded in increasing the water levels by 6 meters in just a few years. Here's more.
Uncontrolled and over-exploitation of groundwater resources for decades has depleted this precious source in India. The depleting water levels threaten agriculture, industries, and access to drinking water needs. While many efforts have been undertaken by the government and individual platforms to revive groundwater levels, Telangana's Rajana Sirsila district collector D. Krishna Bhaskar has succeeded in increasing the levels by 6 meters. To replenish groundwater, the district administrator has worked wonders with the effective implementation of government schemes. From upgrading tanks to having piped water systems, land acquisition for reservoirs, desiltation of water storage bodies, digging trenches and building capacity for water storage, the district went on a massive drive to conserve water in water bodies. The Sri Raja Rajeshwar Reservoir, with a capacity of 27,000 million cubic feet, became operational after the project stayed stuck for a decade because of legal issues. In the process, it became the biggest reservoir in the state. After completing the project in about 1.5 years, the operation of Annapurna Reservoir also started in parallel.
We've also carried out a river regeneration. Like you see, after almost a decade, a river has been flowing next to Sirsila, the Maner, and it has been a regeneration which has been tied up through linkage for reservoirs. And there have been other little initiatives which have somehow found traction throughout the state. And that was also noted by the various national teams which have come and used up and documented the same and held up the district as a model of water-based governance.
Over the last 3 years, significant progress has been made in the district by effectively implementing various government schemes like MG Narega and creating many reservoirs. The district administration also carried out desiltation activities on Upper Menar Reservoir, reviving small bodies and filling water tanks. The result was that agricultural activities increased by 150% in the district. The Rajana Sirsila district bagged the National Award for effective implementation of MG Narega for the year 2018-19. Rajana Sirsila's district collector's water management practices have also been recognized by the union government. The Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy of Administration in Missouri, the premier training institute for government servants in the country, took note of it and included it in its curriculum. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, on to some international news. U.S. Special Climate Envoy John Kerry on Thursday said that measures to tackle climate change needed to be ramped up significantly, and achieving a net zero global carbon emissions by 2050 would require a radical transformation of the economy. New Democratic President Joe Biden named former Secretary of State Kerry as a Special Climate Envoy back in November, a sign that he was putting climate change at the center of his foreign policy. Kerry said coal needed to be phased out 5 times faster than is the case at present, while renewable energy needed to be ramped up 6 times faster and electric car rollout 22 times more. On Wednesday, Biden recommitted to rejoining the 2015 Paris Climate Accord that his predecessor Donald Trump withdrew from, claiming it was too costly to the U.S. economy. The French government on Thursday recommended that people wear surgical masks in public because they offer better protection from COVID-19 transmission than fabric face coverings. France has already required masks to be worn in public places, but until now has not made recommendations about the type of mask. French Health Ministry says that it was very unlikely that restrictions on ski resorts would be lifted next month, and that effectively rules out a return to skiing in time for the February school holidays, normally the last peak skiing period of the season. France has reported over 71,000 coronavirus-related deaths since the pandemic began. It is now at 35% of its peak infection rate, well below its neighbor Britain, which is at 70%. French schools are still open. Non-essential shops are allowed to trade. However, French public health officials say they have detected a rise in transmission rates in the past few days, and they are also wary of the spread of new, more contagious variants of COVID-19, which are prevalent in other countries. And with that, it's time to wrap up this newscast. On the other side, news in Hindi coming up next on DD News. Stay with us. Namaskar.